The best way to think of the intercloud is looking back actually 20, 25 years and looking at how the internet rose. At the time, it was a set of disparate networks and protocols at local area network level that we were trying to connect. And that's how actually Cisco was born, to interconnect disparate systems. All those protocols and networks ended up not just being connected by IP, the internet protocol, open source if you want, but also IP ended up taking over on all these protocols, and now we have the global internet thanks to this kind of effort, because now the internet is pervasive. Now think about the same in cloud, and you seem to have exactly the same kind of archetype, right, and dynamics. You have a set of disparate clouds. They're all nicely, quote-unquote, isolated, and what Cisco stands for really here is to interconnect all these clouds. And by the way, it's not just Cisco, but it's Cisco and the partners who look forward to interconnect all these clouds together and unleash the power of the intercloud, which to this extent has to be thought through as the evolution of the internet. All right, so with this announcement today, we're actually releasing two fundamental set of news. The first one is the increase of the partner ecosystem, right? So primary players joining the intercloud ecosystem, like Deutsche Telekom, British Telecom, Equinix, and 30 plus other partners, which actually take the overall count to around 40 plus partners, which in 6 months is an outstanding achievement. The second set of news regards new services that we're launching in the market, as well as new products and specific go-to-market initiatives to accelerate the adoption of intercloud technologies. When you think about the new services and products that we're releasing, we're finally open for business for the intercloud fabric. So we're taking orders. That's really the magic glue of the intercloud, much like routers were in the good old internet, right? That's what the intercloud fabric does. And we're releasing new services for service providers around cloud VPN and security that build on top of our ESP, the Evolved Services Platform for service providers, to further differentiate their capabilities and make this intelligent pipe really count in the overall cloud game. And finally, we're building on top of the Cisco integrated infrastructure, because the fabric will fundamentally enable this integrated infrastructure to be intercloud enabled together with our ACI technology. And so being able to move both policies as well as workloads cross boundaries, which is really what the enterprise wants right now. Well, the value lies in fulfilling the end customer needs, right? It all starts with end customers. That's why there is a supply that is shaping up. And what customers ultimately want is to use all these clouds together, right? Fundamentally, we're seeing a change in the way of sourcing IT. IT is becoming an as-a-service kind of model, if you want, also a supply chain kind of management business. So in order to achieve that, there's ample room for partners to focus on different specialties around the intercloud. This could include, for instance, building clouds, right? But for instance, we're also working with a lot of the distributors that are coming into this game in this announcement to aggregate these kind of services and offer services to customers such as unified billing, for instance. So it all really goes to fulfilling customer needs and driving these business outcomes about a new IT model, which is a fast IT model that is able to leverage the cloud to deliver faster and with better economics than the past IT model. Well, the future is really, really exciting. If you think about the partnerships that we announced today, the overall count that we have with the partners is the intercloud ecosystem now is reaching around 250 data centers across 50 countries, right? This also enable unprecedented level of flexibility with customers. Just think about all the data sovereignty issues, for instance. Now we are able to fulfill this customer needs with local firms, right? They're very strong and trusted at domestic level, still having a global approach. Now, Cisco is going to boost the go-to-market with actually devoting around $1 billion of financing facilities from the captive arm that we have in the company, which is Cisco Capital. So by putting in place these financing facilities, we count on accelerating the market as much as we can to accelerate the adoption of intercloud technologies. And this is actually both a technology and a business model effort, because what we want to do is accelerate the intercloud as much as we can. That's where a lot of the value will come for, not just for Cisco and our partners, but ultimately for the end customers. So what it means for the industry, again, we think is the future looks like as bright as the past was. If you think about the rise of the internet, an incredible ecosystem and the value that it created, right? Most of our economies right now really rely on the internet to work. Well, the same is going to happen with the intercloud, and actually is going to amplify the value of the current internet, taking it to the next level. Now, much like the internet, the intercloud will rely on open standards that everybody can deploy, such as OpenStack, and Cisco as always is going to build on top of this open source and open technologies to add value with our intellectual property, both from a technology perspective, as well as leveraging the immense intellectual property that our partners put in this game plan together with us. And this is what happened in the last several years. Actually, the company is celebrating 30 years just in the next few weeks. So we're taking our business model to the next level together with our partners, and we're going to unleash the power of the intercloud, which, by the way, is it's going to become the platform for the Internet of Everything, right? So there's a lot of unrealized value out there from the connection of all these disparate, objects, people, and processes connect to the intercloud. And that's the actually ideal foundation to capture this value.